¿Cuántos ya conocen la historia de Adán y Eva? How many of you know the story of Adam and Eve? Sí, ¿verdad? Yeah? You know it? All right. So I'm going to give you a quick recap. Thank you. My hands on tech. Okay. I'm going to go over it really fast. If you don't know it, the other chapters, the chapters before chapter. Actually, I think it's just chapter 3. But anyway. La historia de Adán y Eva la voy a hacer así un poquito rápido, pero si no se la saben bien pueden chequear en el capítulo 3 de Génesis y ahí la van a encontrar. Adam and Eve were created right after the rest of creation, right? Fueron creados ahí justo después del resto de la creación. And then, what happened? The snake came up and tempted Eve, and she ate from the fruit, and then she gave some to Adam, and then, you know, pause. Entonces, Adán y Eva fueron creados, llega la serpiente, le hace monerías, como decimos nosotros, a Eva y ¿cómo se dice? Entices her. Yeah, como que, anyway, entices her, es la palabra que no me sale, que le hace así monerías, como que, ay, que no te atreves, ¿verdad? Que no te atreves a comer. ¿Cómo? Gracias, provokes her, yes. La provoca y le dice, ay, cómete la frutita que no va a pasar nada. Entonces se la come y se la pasa a Adán y Adán se la come también. And then what happens after they both eat? Huh? They're evicted, right? They broke the lease agreement. Ellos rompieron el contrato del apartamento y el Señor les dice, no, tienen que irse. They're kicked out of paradise, right? And then, you know, a couple of things happen, but we have this story right after. Entonces tenemos esta historia ahí justo después. Eve gives birth to Cain and Abel, ¿verdad? Caín y Abel nacen de Eva, and it tells us that Cain used to work the land, right? And then it tells us that Abel was taking care of the sheep, right? Caín estaba atendiendo la tierra y Abel estaba cuidando las ovejas. And then Cain and Abel offer sacrifices, right? Caín y Abel ofrecen sacrificios. And what happens? ¿Qué pasó? We just read it. Ya acabamos de leer. ¿Qué pasó con el sacrificio? God is not pleased with Cain's sacrifice, right? El Señor no está complacido con el sacrificio de Caín, pero sí le gusta el de Abel, but does like Abel's sacrifice. And what's the difference? ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre los dos sacrificios? The attitude. Yes. Le dio lo mejor. Abel le trajo lo mejor de lo mejor. Abel brought the best of the best. And what happened with Cain? Doesn't tell us. He just brought something. Just brought stuff. Trajo ahí algo. Right? Alright, estamos ahí juntos, ya llegamos. We're on the same spot, right? God looks favorably at one of the offerings and not so much Cain's offering. And then Cain is angry, right? Caín se molestó. Y Dios viene y le dice, ¿por qué te molestas? And God says, why are you mad? Why are you angry? Why do you look so resentful? If you do the right thing, won't you be accepted? But if you don't, sin will be waiting at the door, ready to strike. It will entice you, but you must rule over it. Entonces Dios, no Jesús, no está por todo esto. Dios le dice, ¿por qué estás enojado y por qué se ha desnudado tu semblante? This is verses 6 and 7. Si haces bien, no serás aceptado. Y si no haces bien, el pecado yace a la puerta y te codicia, pero tú debes dominarlo. God seems to know Cain and Abel's intention, no? The attitude. Dios ve la intención y la actitud de Caín y Abel. Even though their offerings show the best and some stuff, God sees their intention and says, you know, it's not okay to just bring me something. You gotta bring me, you know, the best of the best. That's a whole other sermon for some other stewardship stuff, but that's not what I'm doing today. Right? Hay otro sermón de la mayordomía, por eso no es lo que estoy haciendo hoy. God says Sin will entice you, but you must resist it. ¿Verdad? Dios le dice, el pecado te va a provocar, pero tienes que aguantarlo, tienes que dominarlo. And what does Cain do? ¿Qué hace Caín? Right after, next verse 8, verso 8, ¿qué hace? Ahí mismo. He says, hey, Abel, let's go hiking. Le dice, hey, a ver, vámonos de paseo, vámonos a una caminata, una excursión. And what happens? ¿Qué pasa? Lo mata. Kills him. Cain kills Abel. And then God comes and says, hey, where's your brother? Dios viene y dice, ¿dónde está tu hermano? ¿Y qué dice Cain? What does Cain say? You don't know? Am I my brother's keeper? What do I know? ¿Qué sé yo? Le dice. ¿Qué sé yo? Le dice así yo lo imagino. I don't know. Right? God says, your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground. You are now cursed from the ground who opened its mouth to your brother's blood. Beautiful imagery. Horrible sentiment, but beautiful imagery. When you farm, it will no longer grow anything for you, and you will become a wanderer. What's a wanderer? Homeless. What else?
Hobo.
Huh? Nómada. Traveler, right? No tiene una casa. Cain says, Dios le dice a Caín, ya no vas a tener una casa porque la sangre de tu hermano me llama desde la tierra. Ahora te maldigo, la misma tierra que tú sembrabas, la misma tierra que abrió la boca para recibir la sangre de tu hermano, ahora no te va a dar fruto. But remember that I told you that what Cain did was farm the land, work the land. That was literally what he did for a living. Literalmente lo que Caín hacía para vivir, para ganar, sostener a su familia era trabajar la tierra. And God's punishment is the ground, I curse you, the ground will not yield its fruit to you. El castigo que le da Dios es, el trabajo tuyo ya no te va a salir. Lo que tú hacías para sostener a tu familia ya no te da. And Cain says, this punishment is too hard. Cain dice, este castigo está demasiado fuerte. It's more than I can bear. Now you have driven me away from fertile land. I am hidden from your presence. I'm about to become a nomad on the earth. And anyone who finds me will kill me. There's a couple of things that Cain is saying there. Cain dice que este castigo es demasiado, más de lo que puedo aguantar. Ya me estás persiguiendo, me estás sacando de la tierra que es fértil y me escondes de tu presencia. Me voy a convertir en un nómada que da vuelta por toda la tierra y el que me encuentre me va a matar. There's a couple of things in Cain's response. The punishment is too hard because he's being taken away from what brings him sustainment, right? Nourishment. Dice que el castigo está muy difícil porque lo separa de lo que le da sostén, ¿verdad? Lo que sostiene a su familia. But he's also being banished away from his family, right? Pero también lo está desechando fuera de su familia. Making him a nomad. They didn't have, tents like we do, right? No tenían casetas de campaña. They didn't have mattresses or matches or none of that thing. Even more, he was banished to the desert. He's a farmer. What can you grow in the desert? ¿Qué puede alguien que trabaja la tierra, qué puede sembrar en el desierto? Cactus? I don't know.
Dates?
Huh?
Dates?
Right? Like, huh? Nopales. I don't think he had them. That's not the point, okay? I know. Take this man out of here. Even though Cain killed his brother, even though God gave him a warning and said, hey, you did something wrong, sin's going to come at you, and you're going to be enticed, you can't give in, right? Dios le da una advertencia, le dice, bueno, no lo hiciste bien, Ahora viene el pecado y te va a provocar, no te puedes rendir, tienes que dominarlo, right? Even though God gave him a warning, he still kills his brother. And where God gives him the punishment, he says, oh, it's too much for me to handle. Después que Dios le advirtió con todo eso, él lo hizo y le dice, Señor, esto es mucho, mucho. And what does God say? Don't worry, I will tell you. God says, no, they won't kill you. I will put a mark on you so nobody will kill you. Aunque Caín hizo lo que hizo y desobedeció. Después que Dios le advirtió, cuando él dice, mucho, me van a matar, Dios le dice, no, voy a poner una marca para que nadie te mate. I want you to see God's mercy, even though it's Cain's fault because he brought. Es culpa de Caín porque él trajo cualquier cosa, no le trajo lo bueno al Señor, ¿verdad? It's his fault because he didn't do what he was supposed to do, and still he gets a warning, and still he kills his brother, and he gets punished, and still complains, and God says, okay, I will still have mercy, ¿verdad? Le dice, con todo eso voy a tener misericordia, te voy a poner una marca para que no te maten. Isn't this quite the story? Esto es una historia tremenda, ¿verdad? Esta historia. Now, I'm going to pause with the story because I can keep going. As you can tell, I love this story. Voy a parar para no seguir contándole la historia y llegamos a David por ahí para abajo. Think about your families. Vamos a pensar en nuestras familias. I mean, hopefully you don't have a Cain, right, in your house. Yo espero en Dios que no tengamos un Caín, pero you never know. Can you think of times in your family where there has been rivalry between siblings? Yo sé que Melissa y Debbie se llevan de lo más bien, pero a veces hay hermanas y hermanos que pelean mucho. I don't know, I'm just making it up. Maybe you don't like each other. You know? Who among you have siblings? Who has cousins, uncles and aunties? Right? Neighbors. Right? People who are best friends, people who become your family. And there is rivalry, ¿verdad? Con las familias, aunque sean familias adoptadas, hermanas, tíos, vecinos. Tenemos problemas y dificultades. Y a veces el Caín viene y pues lo hace. Aunque Dios le diga que no. And sometimes we have a Cain that goes in there and creates a mayhem, right? But the consequences, when we have sibling rivalry that is out of control, you know, problems in the family, what's the consequence? ¿Cuál es la consecuencia de tener este conflicto en las familias? When you don't want to see somebody from your family. All right, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand. No voy a pedir que levante la mano. Pero ¿cuántos de nosotros tenemos a un miembro de nuestra familia que no queremos ver ni en foto? Right? God, raise your hand anyway. How many of us have family members who we don't even want to look at them in a picture? I don't even want to see you. I don't want to see your face even in a picture. Right? And then what happens a lot of times, I'm going to talk about me, then I don't want to go to this family event or this occasion because I don't want to bump into them, right? I just don't want to deal. Y después nos vamos a la celebración, a los eventos, a visitar porque no queremos verle la cara, right? No queremos pelear, I don't want to fight, I don't want to see your face. And then the problem, the danger is it becomes the usual, right? It becomes a costumbre, se convierte en una costumbre. Entonces, we don't go see your family, right? Because I'm mad at you. And I'm going to deal with your face. So no voy a esta Navidad, no voy a la otra. I miss this Christmas and this Thanksgiving. And I keep, I miss a birthday, right? Before we know it, it's been a year or two. How many of you have people in your family who don't talk to each other? ¿Cuántos de ustedes tienen en su familia gente que no se hablan? Right? This family, hopefully minus the murder, but this family, hopefully, is very similar to our family. Pero en Dios que sea sin el asesinato, ¿verdad? Pero las familias de nosotros se parecen mucho a esta. And the consequences are the same. Separation. La consecuencia es la misma, separación. El castigo de Caín fue separación. Separación de su familia, separación de su trabajo, separación de su sostén. The punishment for Cain was separation. Separation from his family, separation from his livelihood, separation from his work. Separation. I'm here to warn you this morning against separation. Estoy aquí para advertirles sobre la separación. God gives us a warning. God says, if you behave correctly, it'll be all right. But I'm going to add something. Even if you behave correctly, sometimes things are not all right. Because you can't control what your brother and your sister does, right? A veces, aunque te portes bien, las cosas malas pasan porque no podemos controlar lo que hace nuestra hermana y nuestro hermano, ¿verdad? We can't control our uncle and our auntie and our parents, especially our parents. Sorry, Mom, I love you. ¿Verdad? No podemos controlar ni a nuestros padres ni a nadie. Sometimes we can take the high road and then still our siblings may hurt us. Aunque a veces seamos los adultos y nos portemos bien, puede ser que nos hiera nuestra familia. And God is warning us. Don't let yourself be enticed by isolation and separation. No dejes que te provoque la separación. No dejes que te tiente. No te quedes solo. No te aísles. Don't isolate yourself. Don't be alone. The reason why we're working on Genesis is because Genesis tells the story of a lot of families, right? Génesis nos da la historia de muchas familias, ¿verdad? I was reading today that in parts of biblical Israel, all other structures such as tribes and clans, etc., they're modeled after family structure. Estaba leyendo que en partes de Israel bíblico, encontramos encontramos que las estructuras como los clanes y las tribus son modelados, ¿sabes? Siguen el modelo de las familias. And this translates or, bleeds into the first churches, the first Christian churches. Y es lo mismo para las primeras iglesias cristianas. Son modeladas hasta después de las familias. Son como el ejemplo. Es la familia. They're modeled after families. And the churches, the first Christian churches, way back when. And the thing is that in our churches, sometimes we are able, and sometimes we're Cain, right? La realidad es que a veces nuestra familia, incluyendo la iglesia, a veces somos Abel y nos maltratan, pero a veces somos Caín y somos nosotros los que maltratamos a nuestra hermana, nuestro hermano. Nos ponemos celosos cuando las cosas les pasan. We get jealous when good things happen. And this is normal, right? And God's giving us a warning. Don't let those things take over your life. Choose unity, choose family. Don't choose separation and isolation. No escojas la separación y el aislamiento. Escoge la unidad de tu familia. A friend of mine reminded me that nobody is 100% anything. Right? Tengo una amiga que me recordó recientemente, nadie es 100% algo. Nadie es 100% malo, 100% bueno, 100% feo, 100% lindo. Right? Nobody is 100% nice or evil or ugly or pretty. Right? Nobody is. Yes, nobody. Nadie. And so we have to give our brothers and sisters the benefit of the doubt to say, okay, I don't like what just happened, but I choose my family. I choose unity. I choose inclusion. Y estas cosas son normales y lo que tenemos que hacer es decir, no me gusta eso, pero yo escojo a mi familia, yo escojo la unidad, yo escojo mi familia. I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter how messed up your family is. Right?
I hope so.
Whew. It does not matter how messed up your family is. God can still protect you and use you to bless the future generations. You see what I'm saying? Estoy aquí para decirte, no importa cuán desordenada, disfuncional sea su familia, Dios todavía puede bendecirlos y utilizarlos para bendecir a las familias que vienen después de usted. Las generaciones futuras, your children, your children's children, or your nephews and nieces and their children. And the family of faith, right? It doesn't matter if you isolate yourself. You know why? Because Cain, even though he was punished and he was isolated and he had to go there where he was the father of a whole other generation, a whole other bunch of generations that came after him. Because God still put that mark on him that said, no, they won't kill you. But now you've got to work. You've got to figure out what else to do because what you were doing is not working. ¿Verdad? Él le dijo, lo que estabas haciendo ya no va a funcionar, así que tienes que buscarte otra cosa. Pero dijo, te voy a proteger. Tú te equivocaste, pecaste, te tienes que ir, pero yo te voy a proteger allá. Don't matter how much your family messes up, and no matter how much you mess up, you can still be a blessing to future generations. No importa lo desorganizado, desordenado, no importa que nos separemos y andemos vagando por ahí, siempre hay oportunidad de redención en el Señor. No matter how much we wander off, there's always a chance for redemption in God. Do you believe it?
Absolutely.
¿Lo creen? So I'm here to tell you this morning, there is hope for redemption in your family, whomever lives in your household, whomever you relate with, whomever you call your family, there's a chance for redemption. Quien sea que es tu familia, los que viven en tu casa, en tu comunidad, en tu iglesia, hay oportunidades de redención para Caín y para Abel. There's a chance for redemption for Abel and for Cain. This is why we pray for the shooter and his family, right? Por eso es que oramos por los que cuando hacen las balaceras, el que dispara y su familia, porque allí hay oportunidad de redención. Because there, where they are, there's a chance for redemption. Amen? Amen. Amen. I want to give us a chance. Actually, you're welcome to rise. Les invito a estar en pie. We all have families, whether they are blood relatives or people we've chosen to live our lives with. Todos tenemos familia, aunque no sean de sangre y sean gente con la que hemos escogido vivir nuestras vidas, ¿verdad? And if you don't have one, join us because we'll be your family. Si no tienes una familia, únete a nosotros porque vamos a ser tu familia. And right there where you are, I want you to think of the times that you have been able and you have been hurt, and the times when you have been Cain and you have hurt other people. Quiero que ahí donde estemos pensemos en nuestras propias familias. Cuando las veces que hemos sido Abel y nos han herido, y a veces que hemos sido Caín y somos nosotros los heridos. Quiero que sepas que si has sido herido, el Señor escucha tu dolor, el Señor ha visto tu dolor y se acuerda y ofrece redención a tu familia. And I want you to remember that like Cain and Abel, if you have been hurt or you have hurt other people, there's redemption available for your family. If anybody needs a special prayer that you would like to say, I want to welcome you into my life, God, because I don't know that I can go on anymore. I want to try this out. I want to follow you, the God of redemption. You can come up here and I'll be happy to welcome you on behalf of Christ in the church. Si alguien que quiera una oración especial le quiere decir al Señor, te voy a seguir, voy a tratar esto, a ver, porque quiero seguir al Dios de redención. Les invito a que pase y yo voy a recibirlos en nombre de Cristo y de su iglesia. If you're looking for a church family and you want to call us your home, you are welcome to come up here and I will receive you on behalf of Christ in the church. Si estás buscando una iglesia, que la puedas llamar tu casa, bienvenido a casa. Les invito a que pasen adelante si quieren, aquí adelante si quieren unirse oficialmente. Yo voy a recibirlos de parte de Cristo y de su iglesia. And if you have wandered off into the desert, your punishment is over. Come back to the family. Si te has ido, estás vagando por ahí por el desierto, en aislamiento y separación, se acabó tu castigo. Ven, únete a la familia. Te damos la bienvenida. Y pasen acá y les voy a dar la bienvenida de parte de Cristo y de su iglesia. So come on up and I will welcome you on behalf of Christ in this church.